to the more in-depth August reads review. If you just want a rapid quick fire, check out my TikTok or my Instagram. They're there, yes, no, maybe edition. So let's start off with the one I'm going to gab the most about. A Time of Dragons, The Last Ballad of Hope. It comes out tomorrow, I believe. It is a phenomenal ride. I can't wait for everyone else to have it, to read it and enjoy it so we can talk about it. I do want to make like a recap video after it comes out. I was just trying to do book 1 and book 2, but after reading book 3, I can't, I keep cutting myself off, so we're just gonna get a book 1, book 2, and book 3 recap. Since it is supposed to be a 5-book series, I feel like that's better anyway because it's the middle book. That way we'll go into kind of more of the falling action together. We'll recap. It'll be grand. I don't know if it'll be like a live thing or if it'll be more like sit down and you watch at your leisure. I kind of would like it to be a live thing. I don't know how that would work, but that way, you know, we can collaborate, we can talk back and forth. It'd be more of an open conversation than me just talking to a camera. But yes, phenomenal world. I found Philip by finding A Time of Dragons once there were heroes, and then the whole world of Veritas opened up to me. I am still very slowly working my way through Fall of the Neverdark because it is my goal to finish the entire Echo Saga this year. And with it being August, I better get my move on. August was a very heavy ARC reading month. I wasn't planning on ARC reading A Time of Dragons, Last Ballad of Hope. Philip surprised me with that, and it was my favorite surprise of this year, to be honest. So, the rest of the books, all but one, were ARC reads and one beta read. I think some of them are out now, and others come out very, very soon, like tomorrow in Philip's case. But yeah, so next I DNF something whiskered. I just think sometimes with these cozy mysteries, there's so much regurgitation of information because the author does not know if you're coming into the series off of this one book and they're going to hook you into the rest of the world, or if you've been there. And I wish this author had found a better balance between the regurgitation and everything. It was like, okay, I get it. You don't have to tell me she's your wife. I could probably deduce that by figuring out you're on your honeymoon. Like, it's kind of redundant. You know, you're saying it twice, basically, almost. So yeah, I like cozy mysteries sometimes, and sometimes they just hit the spot. This one didn't. I wanted it to, but I'm not going to continue to say anything more about the books. Maybe it's your favorite book and you're a cozy mystery gal or guy. I mean, there are some that I like, but just not this one time. And then there was The Weaver Bride. I believe it is out now, but I did ARC read it. It was good. It is YA, a little higher stakes YA than I'm used to seeing in the YA category, which I enjoyed. If you're someone who is like a high fantasy reader, like I typically am, I don't think you're gonna enjoy it as much. But for me, I could enjoy it because I went back to my like 13 year old self and it would hit the spot. So if you've got a 13, 14-year-old at home that is getting into the romantic fantasy stuff, this I feel like is an age appropriate book. It has some great conversations about, oh my gosh, why did that just fly on my brain? Some great conversations about like what marriage means, or what it especially did mean historically in the past to men and women. I enjoyed it. It was good. I think I gave it 5 stars. Looking back, I probably knock it down to like 4, just because it's not a book I'm going to be recommending to everyone. It's going to be like, oh, you have a daughter in this age range that's liking this, then I recommend this type thing. It's not a everyone needs to read, like A Time of Dragons. Then I finished Accomplice to the Villain. This book is out now. I'm been waiting for the 3rd book of this series. I, for whatever reason, like a lot of other people, thought it was a trilogy, but it's going to be a 5-book series, so there's that. I did enjoy Accomplice. It did kind of feel like a middle book just because there's so many things we need to kind of get to, like who is the traitor, with the Grivoire and then the Rindar's, you know, fairy tale. There's a lot going on, and we got to get to where we can go so we can have a plan so we can get to the falling action of the book. So whereas A Time of Dragons, Last Ballad of Hope didn't so much feel like middle book syndrome, Accomplice to the Villain had a little bit of middle book syndrome. Not bad. I still enjoyed it. I loved it. Because if you think of a series as like one book, the middle book is always going to be like, it's like in a trilogy. The second one's not as great as the first and the last one because it's the middle action, like it's the plateau. So I kind of felt that in Accomplice. Did not feel that in A Time of Dragons because we're still getting the timelines together in the Last Ballad of Hope, A Time of Dragons, where Accomplice to the Villain, you know, but I will say the ending of Accomplice was like go, 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 go. And then it ended and we're on this precipice of a cliffhanger. Great time, great time. So now we have to wait till book 4 for, I don't even know when. If somebody knows, let me know. Then I beta read Dragon's Horn for Brady Huntsinger. So it is the second and final book in the Impervious series. So first was Impervious. Now it's Dragon's Horn. Is it Impervious? Please hold. It's right here. I know it is. Dragon's Bane. Now it's Dragon's Horn. So, it's a duology. After finishing Dragon's Horn, I was like, but I feel like we could do more. But it's just a duology. It's a very kind of like open-ended duology, making you question like the morals of war and what it takes to win a war. Very good. I enjoyed it. I read about the first half of it like throughout a week, and then yesterday I finished it. I just sat down. It took me like 2 hours to get through the second half of it. Lots of moments that had me shrieking, screaming at Brady in my notes, like ripping my heart out. Good times. Good times. And then of course I also read A Bond of Darkness and Discord by Lindsay. She was kind enough to let me ARC read this one as well. I think I've ARC read all of her books so far. I did. I have. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Lindsay. I do think you need to read her other two kind of like side novellas. A Bond of Darkness and Discord is the second book in the Tethered to the Rift series. So if you read A Tethered Through the Rift, I do recommend, before reading Of Darkness and Discord, Aries' story, which I cannot remember the title of, and Death, Deception, and the Divine. It kind of gives you a little history into the world, and you won't feel like you're playing catch-up as much.
Where's this one?
That's your writing exercise book. And you'll feel like you've got a little peek behind the curtain when you read and they start talking about the cosmos. It is great. Lindsay has this book set to come out, I think in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I know you can go ahead and pre-order it on Kindle now, and it will be on Kindle Unlimited along with the Tether Through the Rift. So if you're a Kindle Unlimited guy or gal, person, whatever, there you go. So that's it. That's all I've read in August that I've finished in August. I am currently reading Wild Reverence. I have the uncorrected digital proof copy from Rebecca Ross. I did not realize this was the prequel to Divine Rivals, and I've had this for about 3 months, and it comes out September 2nd. So I'm hopefully going to maybe finish this today. If I do, I guess I'll include it in September's regardless, but you know, if I do finish it today, maybe I'll post about it sooner on other socials. But yeah, I've got this, and then in September I also have a fun project coming with another book YouTuber I'm really looking forward to. I have picked up that book like twice, but then I'm like, no, I must wait. I don't want to read it too soon. And then also in September, I have one other arc read that I need to read, How to Defeat a Demon King and 10 Easy Steps. And then the rest of September should be just me catching up on my TBR. My physical TBR, because this needs to happen. I didn't really talk about it when it happened, but I guess I'll talk about it here real quick. The Dark Mirror by Samantha Shannon, book 5 in the Bone Season series. I kind of soft DNF'd that when it came out, and when I started reading it, I had a lot of other things going on in my life personally that I just kind of put the book down because I was so enthralled with the Echo Saga and I wanted to read more of that at the time. So I'm hoping in September, kind of come back around, finish The Dark Mirror, so I am all caught up in that. I would like to read the novella for the Roots of Chaos series, also by Samantha Shannon. And then over here, I've got some other books going on. I've got the finale of the Soulfire Saga, Name of the Wind. What else? The Catelyn Rosaxis book, Grimoire Grammar School, Parent Teacher Association. I love Dreadful by her so much, and that just seems like a nice fall, fun, kind of back to school read, but mystical and fantasy, a little bit of D&D vibes, which I'm hoping How to Defeat a Demon King in 10 Easy Steps also is. I did put R.F. Kong's Kitabis on hold at my local library on Libby. I've got a several week wait. So I don't know. I haven't read any of her other books, but I have heard a lot of the back and forth in the community that they feel like there's too much intellectual babble. Other people say, well, you don't get the book because you're just not an intellect. Other people say, no, I am an intellect. It's just the ramble disrupts from the story. I've heard a lot of things. I kind of want to find out for myself. I do own a nice copy of Babel. I just have not gotten around to reading it. Story of the Physical TBR Life. But yes, so hoping to read it and maybe offer up my own opinion for better or worse. But there are a lot of fantasy books that I do want to read, and there are people like Noah who are not helping my TBR at all. So yeah, if you have any recommendations for September, I also am looking at the Lycanthus trilogy. I have book 1 and 2. I want to start that as well. And then John Gwyn's of Bloodsworn Saga, those books. I got a lot going on. I got a lot of books I want to read, and maybe that should be a whole other video. But thanks for chatting with me. Hope you had a great August, and here's looking forward to an even better September. Okay, bye.